You're listening to The Endless Party with your hosts,
Megan Elijah Armstrong. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 69 of The Endless Party. This is a very special episode.
69.
Okay, this is a very special episode because we're filming it right around the time our babies are hitting their 6-month milestone, which is huge. We've kept babies alive, twins, for 6 months. I feel like that's a big deal.
It is a big deal. It's actually been pretty cool because we've talked to a couple people. One couple that actually had triplets, and we asked them when they were a month old. Our babies were a month old.
I think they were about a month.
We were like,
when does this get easier?
Like,
this is so hard.
And the husband was like, it's really hard for 6 months. He's like, once you hit 6 months, they're a delight. He's like, but it's really, really hard for about 6 months. And so we've actually seen.
Yeah, we can attest.
We can attest to that. And it's been pretty cool to see just the transition of our little girls and how much they've grown, but also just they're just more of a delight. Not to say they weren't a delight before, but
I'm like already getting emotional. I thought I would on this episode. I love them so much, and I'm so happy they're 6 months, but on the other hand, like, I don't know.
I'm really happy they're 6 months.
It's like so sweet, but I'm also like, oh my goodness, they're 6 months. That went by.
Half a year old, bro.
It really went by in a blink of an eye, and I feel like that's something Elijah and I kind of took for granted. Everybody was always like, they grow up so fast, or they make the most of it.
But here's the interesting: I have no regrets.
I too have zero regrets, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. But I have zero regrets, and so it's more sweet than bitter, but I think I'm crying because it is very sweet, because it has been 6 months, and because, honestly, these have been some of the best 6 months of my life, and I would have never thought, like, they would be.
It's been awesome.
Yes.
Being a parent's really cool.
Yes, and Bea and Winnie, when you're watching this, hopefully, in however long, we love you.
Yes, we do.
We always have, and we always will.
Sorry for any mistakes we made along the way.
We're doing our best. We really are every day.
It's been a cool experience just to become a parent, and it's funny too because right at their 6 month mark so May 11th is their 6 month mark, and May 12th is actually Mother's Day, and so it's been cool to become a parent and experience this and to see just how much your own parents love you. And especially around Mother's Day, I just recently wrote a card with my wife to her mother, so my mother-in-law, and I really meant everything I said in there. And what I expressed was, I'm grateful for you as a mother because you raised this little girl to be a wonderful, incredible woman, right? And it's cool to see how impactful one parent can be to generations of kids.
I actually wrote that in both of my cards to them.
And it's just fascinating because it just makes you, I mean, when you become a parent, it makes you that much more appreciative of your own parents because of the sacrifice of time, energy, sleep, money, like whatever it is, they are willing to give up anything and everything to make your life beautiful. And it just makes you more grateful for the parents that you have.
I'm super thankful for my mom and her example of how to parent little babies because I think she's incredible.
Baby mom.
She's an incredible mom, and she was especially. So I'm the oldest of 8 kids, and so I as the oldest, I had the opportunity to watch her carefully take care of all of her kids. And because of that, in my own mothering, when I'm not quite sure how to approach situations, I can always, remember the example of my mom and remember how she treated my siblings, and then I try to do the same for Bea and Winnie.
Mm-hmm. And it's pretty great.
It is.
Everybody compliments our babies on they smell really good, they're really nice, they're always well taken care of.
Honestly, I can attribute that to the way my mom took care of us.
It's cool.
So, like, if you're a mom out there, the way you take care of your kids is so important because that it can mirror the way they're going to take care of theirs. Mm-hmm. If it's good, I hope.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it works for bad, too.
Well, I was going to mention this, too. So, we were really blessed to have great parents on both sides. My mother and father were incredible people. They still are, very much so. Meg can say the same about her parents. And for anybody who doesn't have that, anybody who comes from a broken home or who really had a rough upbringing, what's so fascinating and what's so beautiful is the fact that you can change that. Is that you can be the transformational figure, and to get it more like a definitive term, and be the incredible parent for your kids that they deserve, that you never had.
Yes.
And so there's hope no matter if you come from a rough background or a beautiful background. You can be an incredible parent.
And what's crazy is your influence will shape generations. And I think that's what's so impactful. Like, I'm seeing my mom's influence now in my kid's life. And I hope and pray that my influence is good enough that our kids will, see it in their kids' life.
Pattern it after you. And I agree. It's pretty cool.
Okay, so today we're going to share just some of the things we've learned from being parents for 6 months. Now, mind you, this advice is for, parents with kids under 6 months, because we haven't forged ahead.
Yeah,
we only know
kids 6 months, and more specifically, like twins.
Yes, we don't really know what it's like to have a baby.
A singleton. We didn't have that. So this is mainly twin advice, as well as just overall parenting advice
this is just what we've come to know, understand.
Made our life a little easier, and it's made our life a little better. So tune in now.
So before our twins were born, we actually read this amazing book. It's called Baby Wise.
Yep.
And
great book.
This book has honestly been, I think, the biggest lifesaver in the first 6 months with twins.
The whole premise is give your babies the gift of sleep.
And so, I know this is a super controversial subject, but this is the way we parented, and we feel really good about it. And I just want to encourage it works. And I want to encourage those of you who, are interested in this route, just to give it some thought.
Well, yeah, listen to what we have to say, but also don't just take our word for it. Read the book, see it for yourself, see the experiences, ask around, figure it out for yourself.
So the biggest thing we found with our twins is that routine is everything for them. Routine is everything. And that doesn't mean that we're not flexible and we break routine, because of course we do. Sometimes, life happens. We're not so stickler that we only stay home and just do their routine. However, every opportunity we have to keep them on routine that doesn't interfere with we keep them on routine, and it's been awesome.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, we sleep trained our kids really, really early. But it was necessary, and this kind of goes into the next thing I've learned. As a parent, you have to take care of yourself, and you have to sleep.
Well, yeah, I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but it's like that advice they give you on airplanes. It's like, if the oxygen masks descend from the ceiling, be sure to adjust your own mask before assisting others, because you are no good to anybody passed out or dead.
And you're no good to anybody so incredibly sleep deprived
that you start to just die.
Take it from our own mistakes and experience. We suffered because we really were not sleeping the first 2 weeks of their life, and both of us were just
trashed. I mean, here's what's interesting.
It had nothing to do with our babies. It had everything to do with us.
Yeah. So we're huge into fitness. We come from collegiate athletics. That's our background. And we didn't exercise because we were so exhausted.
There was no energy.
And this is what's crazy, right? I got up at 3:30 a.m. to go running. Every single day for years.
I feel like we were used to being somewhat tired.
Yeah,
all the
we
time.
were always exhausted, but this was a new degree of tired, because when I was getting up at 3:30 a.m., I was at least going to bed by 9:30.
He was at least getting 6 hours straight.
Now I was getting
20 minutes.
At most every night, 1 to 2 hours, and we were on the verge of dying.
Pretty much. We were, and that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
We were.
And so here's some advice. Here's one of the steps for advice. Ask for help when help is needed.
We wish we had done that.
There are so many great and wonderful people out there that are willing to help you. And I know that so many of you are very, very independent, very, very strong individuals, which is great. But it's not a bad thing to ask for help.
No.
And, I mean, luckily we come from really nice families, and so we could even ask for help from our parents. But seriously, like,
You need to ask
when
for
push
help.
comes to shove and you're sleep deprived and exhausted, just ask for help. You know, we finally got to the point where we did. And it was actually
It was a huge blessing.
the day before Christmas Eve, and we said, hey, can you watch these babies from 6 until
11, because we have to
11?
sleep.
So we slept for 5 hours.
And that was like
and that was it, and we were good.
And that was the first 5-hour stretch of sleep we had gotten in like
10, 11 days.
It had been so long. Yes.
Yeah. So definitely, when needed, ask for help. Like, there's so many people willing to help you.
Yes, and this all comes back to this understanding that after we realized that no one was sleeping in our house, I was like, we have to do something about it. And that's where
we weren't.
no one was
nobody
sleeping. Everyone was crying all the time, both of us and the babies, mostly me. But so anyways, we put them on routine, and we really got their schedules down with baby wise, and that changed the game.
Saved our lives.
Here's
what was so cool is, like, this goes into another principle that we've talked about, and it's discipline. Like, being able to discipline your kids. And we're not talking about like this enforcer punisher, right? We're talking about love, giving them discipline, because discipline really is another word for love. And this was just the first step that we will have to discipline our kids, and that's disciplining them to go to bed.
Right. And what happened was, it's like, okay, we love you so much and I love us so much, and I'm like, you have to go to sleep and we have to go to sleep. And the thing is, of course, we still get up and feed them in the night.
Yes.
And of
We're
course,
still great parents. We
and
don't
of course,
neglect
we check on
anybody.
them. We don't just like leave them in a room to
Just cry for hours.
No,
Like,
but
that's
we
not
were
a
very
thing.
we were
Baby
very
Wise doesn't recommend
No,
that.
we were very, very mindful in how we went about it, and we took the advice of the book. And I will say this, our kids are still very attached to us. They love us.
There's no attachment
We love
issues.
them. They don't seem like they're traumatized.
Here's
In
what's
fact,
actually, yeah, go ahead.
They love their beds.
Yeah, they like welcome it.
Yes.
Like, you put them in their beds and they're just like, oh yes.
Because
this is it.
they know it's a safe place where they can sleep, and they know they're going to get rest.
But here's what's fascinating too, is because we've done this, now when we go to get them after they've woken up
They're
in the morning
so
or
happy
after
to
the nap,
see us.
they are stoked to see us because they're not sleep deprived.
Yes.
They are well rested, they have full amount of energy, and they are ready and rearing to take on their day.
Yes.
And it's awesome.
So I would 100%, 10 out of 10 recommend Baby Wise. Follow the principles. It really worked for us. Our kids are very happy. They love us. I think that was also, I wanted to address this. That was my biggest fear with Baby Wise. I thought that my kids would be traumatized, and that like they
would
wouldn't
hate you.
love me, and we wouldn't have this attachment.
It's further
That's-
from the
that's
truth. They
false.
love you probably even more.
Yes, they love that we haven't seen that at all.
Yeah,
Okay.
They're delights.
I think the next thing I want to address is something that Elijah and I have come to understand is the way you become the greatest parent is you first take care of your marriage, and you have the greatest marriage. And what's been interesting is we have twins, and they take up a lot of our time, a lot of our energy, most of our attention. But the thing is our marriage has only become stronger because we still take time for it. And it's like a priority in our lives that we make sure that we're taking care of each other. And because of that, I think it just has really helped our relationship with our kids.
100%. I would also recommend, now, take this with a grain of salt. I'm not telling anybody to wait on having kids that are in a marriage by any way, shape, or form. You should know when you should have kids more than anybody. It's between you and your spouse and God. Like, it's those three people. It's not anybody else's business.
No, have kids when you guys decide.
It's not your relatives, friends, family members.
No.
Nobody's business except the husband and wife and God.
Because you're going to be the ones taking care of them. So
Yes, they're your
buckle-
kids.
buckle
Okay,
up.
so it is between, like I said, those three people: you, your wife, and God. Or in Meg's case, Meg, her husband, and God.
Yes.
Now, that being said, it was actually really nice to be able to get to know Meg and get to know who she was in marriage, as well as get to know who I was in marriage. And then that way we had a foundation to build upon.
Yes.
And it's something beautiful because now that we go through 10 days of no sleep where we start getting angry and we start getting really emotional and not being able to handle what's going on, and you start to doubt your own existence because you're so tired, you actually have each other to rely on and each other to be like, hey, you know what? We got this. Like, if I'm sleep deprived, at least I have you.
Yeah.
And so like I said, I'm not encouraging anybody to wait or not to wait. It is up to you guys to decide. But what I am encouraging is to really, really work on your marriage and really, really get to know each other. And that way, like Meg said, our marriage has only improved since having kids, which statistically speaking,
It's not supposed to.
it's not supposed to. And because we had such a great marriage to begin with, it only became stronger now that we have kids.
And I would say too, if you have a baby, I mean, we're coming from a Christian background, so we're assuming, you have kids within marriage. But whatever your relationship is, even if you have a baby right off the back, that's fine. You have 9 months to work on your marriage, so like that should be.
It gives you plenty of time.
That gives you
to
plenty
figure
of
each other
time.
out.
You have 9 months to really figure out who each other.
Yeah, who you are.
So
what your expectations are.
So now when
everything.
Elijah and I are in stressful situations with our children, we have 2 babies going ballistic, or we have 2 blowouts, or we have situations that are not ideal. I think because we can rely on each other, now we can just kind of, I don't know, just like work through them and also make it comical.
Well, and it's pretty cool too. So I look at it and we get to the point where it's like, hey, I actually am at my wit's end. Can you take this, And I've done that to Meg. Meg's done that to me. I've taken the girls for a drive. She's taken the girls for a drive. And then we've taken 20 minutes, an hour.
Okay, I need to take a 20-minute walk. I just got
revamped. And it's great, though,
moment.
because you can rely on the other person wholeheartedly and you have that absolute trust. Here's what's cool, too, is because we've developed our relationship so thoroughly and so in depth, I don't question a single thing that she does as a mother.
Oh, that's cool.
I have never once been like, oh my gosh, like, are you sure we should do this with our babies? Or, oh my gosh, like, that's a little rough.
I just know your character so deeply that I'm like, he's their dad. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, like they're gonna do a bang up job, and quite frankly, probably better job than I would do myself. And so that's what's actually really reassuring too, is once you become so interdependent with one other person in this life, you rely on them wholeheartedly and you can trust them wholeheartedly to know that they're going to raise your kids, our kids, the way that we want to raise our kids. And you never have to doubt it, even for a second.
It's beautiful.
Thanks, Holmes.
It's beautiful. Okay, I addressed this in a podcast prior, but I just wanted to say it one more time. I think Elijah would agree. Parenting is way better than I expected. Being a parent is, like I said, I thought I would enjoy it. I knew I always wanted to be a mom, but holy cow, I love it. I love being a mom. I love it.
Agree.
It brings so much joy and fulfillment and happiness in my life. And what's crazy is our house is messier. Our time is stretched.
Well, actually, that's a lie. We probably get more done now than we did.
We get more
before.
done, but I don't know.
I don't know how, but we totally do.
Sure, we don't have as much freedom in the sense that normal things take a little bit more planning.
We don't go to game night with friends anymore because our babies go to bed at 7:30 and we have to be home.
But what's crazy is I'm like I
do too. I prefer it that way. It's great.
Anyways.
It's cool to see the stages of life because Meg has siblings currently. I have siblings currently that are still in the college single phase of life. And it's great to see them just enjoying that. And we were just there a few years ago. But now just to see how your life slowly progresses and how you don't even yearn to go back because you made the most of every day when you were in that situation. But it's pretty cool because it's I would never go back in a heartbeat. It's
no.
When I get to wake up next to my wife and then we go and get our 2 babies out of their bedroom and they're just happy and so stoked to see us. It's I wouldn't change that for the world.
So, 100% we recommend you have kids.
Get married and have babies.
I will say this too. This is just my opinion, but I'm really thankful that we also had these babies younger rather than older.
Yeah.
Situations may be as such that, like you said, it's up to you when you have your children.
Yeah.
However, we chose to have our kids younger. I'm 22. I turned 23 this month, and we already have 2 kids. But I will say I'm so stoked that I'm the 22-year-old getting up in the middle of the night and working with my babies and recovering from a C-section and being pregnant than being, late 30s, like
early 40s.
Early 40s. I'm really thankful to have this experience while I'm young because I think I have the energy for it.
Well, it's pretty cool too because I guess back to this parenting advice that we're trying to give to anybody who's willing to listen. We received a lot of advice from countless parents before we had these babies, and one of the things that was repetitive from multiple parents was, if I could go back, I would have more children. I would have them.
Yes.
I would have them younger. I would, just make the most of every day. And so it was just this reoccurring theme of have a lot of kids, make the most of every single day, and just be the best parent that you can be. And so it's been pretty cool because we actually took that to heart and realized the most fulfillment in life comes from family members and from those that you love and then those you cherish. And it's pretty cool to look at because my greatest friends are all my siblings. And my parents now, we've gotten to the point where I'm now friends with my parents instead of them parenting me, which makes sense. I'm 27. I would hope so. I hope they don't have to parent me anymore. But likewise with Meg, all of her siblings are our greatest friends. And they call her, they message her, they talk to her every single day. Mm-hmm. And it's a beautiful relationship. And so when we look back, we look at our life currently. It's that's what I want. Money, you can always make more money. You can always do all these things. But one thing you can't get back is time. And so to anybody out there wondering what they should do with their life, and this comes from, like we said, Christian backgrounds that are very family oriented, I have not found, even after winning state championships, national championships, graduating college, getting a full ride scholarship, traveling all over the nation and even the world, seeing Broadway musicals and seeing different cultures, nothing on earth compares to a marriage and having children. Nothing. There isn't a single thing that I can even think of that even comes close to how much joy, love, and fulfillment you will have and you will experience with the one person that you choose to marry and starting a family with that one person.
I agree. I think that's all I can say. That was beautiful.
Thanks, homie.
Okay. Should we move on to the next thing? Yeah,
absolutely.
I second everything he said. I just don't think I can say it any better, so...
Oh, that's nice of you to say.
There you go. Okay, the next thing I've loved in parenting is your babies know when you are loving them and when you are cheering them on. And I get super emotional about this because it's something I believe in so much. Every day I try to tell my babies how much I love them and how much I believe in them and how much I have this undying faith that they are going to change this world and make this world a better place and that they are good people.
They already have.
Yeah, they have.
That's what's mind-blowing is we've mentioned this previously on the podcast that a baby, it was the happiness party. How much joy a baby brings into a room. Mm-hmm. That is what has happened with our children. Our entire family, our family and our extended family, I should say.
Our friends.
Yeah, my family and her family and our friends, they are so elated to have us around. And it's not because of us by any means. No. It's because of who we bring, and it's these little beautiful girls that just accompany us everywhere. And it's pretty awesome to be able to be their dad and be their mom and be able to just help shape them and mold them into incredible people. Yeah.
They make this world a better place.
They do. They make me want to be better.
Okay. this kind of goes along with the next thing. I just put, never miss a chance to sing and talk to your baby. It's so rewarding for me to have them kicking around on the floor, and you get the opportunity to talk to them, play with them, sing. And right now they don't say anything back. They just kind of like,
they're just like, yeah, okay,
sure. But it's so rewarding.
It is rewarding.
And what's cool is one day they are gonna sing and talk and play back with, and play back. And so
they're starting to.
Like
they just the other day.
I've heard that like 15. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go
I've
ahead.
heard that like 15 minutes of play like stimulates and grows like millions of neurons in their brains every day.
Yeah,
It just
I
like
wouldn't
helps
be
them to
surprised
develop.
at all. Well, there's what book were we reading? It might have been Baby Wise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was some parenting book, because one thing we actually did too before we had these babies, we read like all the parenting books.
We did. We wanted to try to do the best we
I
could.
read like how to parent, how to father, how to discipline with love. I read the Baby Wise. We read all the books, okay? But one of the books says there is no toy, no book, no device that can love and sing and play to your baby the way that you will.
Nothing can substitute you.
Nothing can substitute you. And I think that is beautiful, and it's really cool to see, because when I watch Meg sing and play and love our little babies, there isn't a toy that we've had that can bring them the same joy, that gives them the same focus, that helps them grow and learn the way that their mom helps them grow and learn.
That was so nice of you. I was talking to my friend Riley the other day. You know how much I love Riley.
Yeah, she's the GOAT.
The GOAT, the greatest of all time.
The greatest of all time.
Anyways, my friend Riley and I were talking, and we were talking just about how we both live in these like crazy, silly little ghetto apartments, and we both have kids. But what's amazing is, like, our children's whole world is their mom and dad. They don't care where they live. They don't care what they're
outfit,
wearing.
They
don't even care that they don't even care that they're eating relatively the same thing every day, or that they like live in the same space every day. All they care about is that they have their mom and their dad there, and that makes everything,
Yeah, absolutely. To kind of pattern after that, I just think about what it means to be a parent in this sense, and we are in this little ghetto apartment currently, and I haven't bought new shoes in 3 years, and
He needs new shoes.
I'll even show you right
subscribe so Elijah can buy some
Like,
new
these are
shoes.
my
Show him the
shoes.
bottom. They're so worn
they're
out.
just trash, okay? Like, stuffing's coming out, like all the things. But what's crazy is I have no problem going and dropping money on my daughters.
No.
Like, none at all. Or my wife.
It's like, oh, you need this? No problem. We'll buy it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they need this? Cool, whatever. Like, let's buy it. But for me, it's like, yeah, at the end of the day, I hope after all is said and done that I'm the one who goes without so that my wife and kids can go with.
That's very nice of you.
So that's advice to all fathers. Okay, you can go without in comparison. Make sure your daughters, your sons, and your wife never do.
I think the last thing I wanted to talk about today was this understanding. I don't have regrets, but next baby, I just want to trust myself more. You're their
I would
parent.
agree with that, 100%.
You're their parent, and you know what's best for your kid because they're yours. They're literally made of your DNA. So if you know what's best for you, at this phase, we know.
Trust your instincts.
You're gonna know what's best for your baby better than
the doctors,
better than most people.
Other parents, better than your own parents, better than anybody. Like, you, at the end of the day, are their parents, and because of our Christian background and because of our religious background, we believe that you are given that right as a parent to understand and know what is best for your kids. And we're not talking just some like earthly, I have this inkling to do this for my kids. We're talking from on high, from God himself, helping guide you and direct you to know what is best for your kids.
You know. You'll know deep down what's right. And so next baby, which this is not a pregnancy announcement, but when we have our next baby in however many years or whatever, I just want to make sure that I just trust myself a little bit more.
I would agree with that.
And I think the uncertainty comes from one, having
Twins,
and two,
being a
having
new parent.
But the thing we noticed, which was kind of nice in our experience, is because we had twins, people didn't really know, like,
Nobody knew what to do.
No one knew what to do, so
We just had to do it ourselves.
We had to make it up every day.
Even twin parents
didn't know what to do. So we just had to make it up every day. So, you know, when you're in those situations, trust, you know, cheesy as it sounds, trust your heart, trust your gut. You'll know how to take care of your babies. Pray a lot.
Pray a lot.
I think the only,
power, man.
I think the reason why we got through this was, you know,
God.
It was definitely God, 100%. There's no other explanation.
I would 100% agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. The last thing I want to say is, okay, so this is a quote that I've heard a lot of people say, but we recently saw on Allison Felix's Instagram page.
Oh yeah, she's amazing.
She's amazing, and she's a really cool woman, mother. She's just I really look up to her. I think she's super cool.
Yeah, she's very admirable.
Anyway, she has this picture of her, and she has like her Olympic medals with like her C-section scar in it. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna cry but she goes, don't be sad it's over, be happy it happened. And I think as I look through, you know, I look back at these last 6 months and everything that we've gotten to experience because of these babies, instead of being sad that it's over, I'm just so happy it happened. I'm so thankful that I've had this experience to be, one, Elijah's wife, and two, Bea and Winnie's mom, and all of this. And so I think too, one day they are going to grow up and leave our house, and when that happens, my hope is that I can still say, man, I'm so happy that this happened. I'm so glad I had this experience, and I'm so glad that they get to move on to bigger and better things, but I'm just so thankful. So
yeah, instead of looking back with like yearning to go back to being their parents when they were babies, just be grateful that experience happened, and now be very grateful that you get to experience them now as adults.
Yes.
I mean, it's been actually pretty cool to see the transition as we've been married and as we've had kids, the relationship shift with our own parents, and it's actually something beautiful. And one day our little girls are going to grow up, and they're going to be that, like, they might have a podcast of their own where they talk about their kids, you know. And what I'm very grateful for is that we have this opportunity to help raise them and shape them into beautiful people. And when that day does come, you know, we can look back with fondness on the parents that we were, but now also the friendship that we have with them.
Because we gave it our all every single day.
Absolutely.
All right.
So, last thing, there's a lot of advice and parenting tips that we could give or that other parents could give, and take everything with a grain of salt, because like Meg said, you are going to know what's best for your kids. But our next podcast episode is one that is just do your best. Mm-hmm. And that's what we recommend for each of you, is just do the best you can. Do the best you can with what you have, and you can't fail. You'll be incredible parents.
All right.
Okay.
Until next time, thank you guys for being here.
Absolutely.
And please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Subscribe to our channel.
Yes, please subscribe. We would really appreciate it. Help Bea and Winnie's dreams come true by helping their parents' dreams come true.
Because then we can really help them.
Because then we can really help them.
Because what is ours is theirs.
Yes. All right. Till next time, everybody.
Peace.
Peace. You've been listening to The Endless Party. Please feel free to join us over at our website, theendlessparty.com, for more of our content. Also, we would love to hear from you. Leave some comments and let us know what you're interested in us talking about.
Seriously, like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, whatever it is the platform says to do, so that we can keep partying together.